Talk about a game-changing player.
You don't know who Steve Smith is. By the end of it, you don't know who he is.
All the way for a touchdown.
How would I describe my playing style?
That's that stiff arm again.
I play big man ball.
He's the best player on this field today.
Growing up, my grandfather used to always tell me, you're not going to be tall, so this is how you have to play.
Steve Smith caught it.
If you see this face, that means I score.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Carolina.
If you see this face again, that means I scored again.
Are you kidding me?
Growing up, watching old school football, you have to bring the fight to the individual. So for myself, I think I had a defensive-minded perspective on playing offense. When I looked at my opponent, I looked at him as just somebody in the way.
You don't think I'm one of the best? You better check your records.
Welcome to the 2001 NFL College Player Draft.
Draft day sucked. I was hoping I got drafted in the first. I don't know why. So we were just kind of waiting and waiting. And then the Carolina Panthers called. I remember they drafted me as a returner. I was actually a pretty damn good wide receiver that happened to play return.
Kickoff weekend, the 82nd NFL season.
We're in Minnesota. There was a special teams ace. He had said something to me and he goes, hey, this isn't Utah anymore, so don't even think about it. And I was like, oh, okay. Ball get kicked off, just kind of see everything going. And after that, ran it back.
Goes to the 6-yard line. Smith with a hole. Smith, look at him go. There he goes. He's going to go all the way. 94 yards on the opening kickoff and no flags.
Wesley Walls had said that Steve Smith believes he can score every time he touches the ball.
And so, yes, I'm a specialist. However, the whole time what was going in my head is I wanted to play wide receiver. In 2002, against the Cincinnati Bengals.
And that is caught by Steve Smith.
That game was very personal. Who was on that team? Chad Johnson. There was always this in-between thing with me and Chad. He had the height, he had the speed.
Chad Johnson. That was impressive.
He had the quick footwork.
And again, it's Chad Johnson.
I was more stiff hips. I was obviously shorter, more compact. My whole point was to outdo Chad.
31 yards.
So that game was really something I had to prove. My grind and my dog was bigger.
What a catch. And tremendous concentration from Smith, who's had quite a day.
And even to the point of when I re-signed with the Carolina Panthers, I told him I don't care how much the contract is. If it's not $1 more than Chad, I'm not signing it.
And he's gonna score.
He had a lot more talent than I had. I played with a different hunger, so that was the difference. And so that started to thrive.
Got it! Touchdown! You gotta be kidding. Steve Smith.
I started to really think about how I wanted to play ball.
Yeah, a little celebration dance there by Mr. Smith. Third year out of Utah. A speedster, third-round pick, had 54 catches a year ago.
For me, what changed is just seeing the game, I kept improving. Started working on my game, started just really working on my eye and hand coordination.
Smith goes up and makes the catch. Spectacular.
Just really started to be a professional. Started really learning the game inside out, not depend on my athleticism. And not everybody can do it.
It's caught by Steve Smith, and Smith is in for the score.
And so I did that till the end of my career.
Welcome to Charlotte, and of course the big story, the Dallas Cowboys, and they've already beaten Carolina. They did that in November during the regular season.
Dallas Cowboys. Man, I was really nervous. You know, we had lost against the Cowboys earlier that year. They had blitzed the mess out of us, so we knew that it was a tough opponent. So coming in that game, we felt like they were going to come at us and try to hit us in the mouth.
The outside caught by Smith. Inside move to spring free into Cowboy territory. Being chased to the end zone and is knocked down just short of the end zone.
We were prepared for that, and so we were ready.
In the game, replacing Stephen Davis, and the pass is caught on a slant by Steve Smith for a first down. DeLong. And making the catch for the touchdown is Steve Smith. 32 yards as they go to work on Newman again.
He's a corner here. He's a good player. But Steve Smith is a good player, too.
We knew it was not going to be easy. We knew it was going to be a tough match and going against the Rams, so on to the next game.
First down rings on the Panthers' 38-yard line. Pressure from behind. And the ball is intercepted. Picked off by Ricky Manning. So we start quarter number 6.
You know, honestly, I just went blank. I can't remember. I just remember, like, Jake pumped it, and I crossed the face of the safety.
To an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. And the Carolina
To this day, I still can't remember what I was thinking. The one thing is like, just don't get caught.
How about them Panthers? The Cardiac Cats do it again here in St. Louis.
I mean, we thought we were pretty good, but to say that we were going to Super Bowl, we didn't think that.
We have reached the ultimate game. The Carolina Panthers are in the Super Bowl.
You know, we were Carolina Panthers, small market team, so when we got to Houston, it was a dose of reality that people didn't expect us to hang with them. People didn't expect us to be in the ball game.
Caught! Touchdown! Steve Smith!
And what an unbelievable release by Steve Smith. Tyrone Poole does not even touch him because he's so quick and elusive. He gets around him.
That moment was outstanding. That moment said I could play in this league. We felt a little bit like people didn't think we deserved to be there, so it was tough.
Panthers trailed 7-0. They were able to tie it late, but let me tell you something. What a great season the Panthers had. This is a good football team, and they had a chance to win. No huddle shotgun. And here it is again. DeLone back the pass from the Green Bay 39 over the middle. It's Smith again. 35-yard line. 30. Oh, and tripped up and dropped. Oh, boy, that hurt. Steve Smith in a lot of pain. Hannibal Navy's caught him down around the ankle. And the training staff that happened right by the Panther bench out to look at Steve Smith.
That was probably a blessing, getting injured. Psychologically, it was tough.
Wow. His ankle turned under the body of Navy's. His left ankle got turned around.
It was a long process, so it was tough, but it really helped me because I trained my butt off. And then that was ultimately 2005 season, and I guess put me on the map as a complete receiver.
35, and there it is. 89 is on the move, and guess what? 89 will walk in. Touchdown.
Out into the flat. Oh, and he burned his man. There goes Steve Smith. Smith up ahead across the 20. He breaks another tackle. Touchdown, Panthers.
First and 10 for Carolina ball. Another throw inside Steve Smith, and here's where Smith is dangerous. No one is going to catch Steve Smith, and just that quick, they score.
Welcome to Dolphin Stadium. The Miami Dolphins host the Carolina Panthers.
Sam Madison was doing a lot of talking. He kind of did some things that I didn't like.
Now he takes him to the ground, 8 yards out of bounds. Steve Smith has something to say about it. All that does is pump that kid up more.
And so Sam just kind of pushed me into that place where my whole thought process was just to really break him down.
It is caught for the touchdown by Steve Smith.
He and a lot of people realized that getting me pissed off actually would do them a disservice.
And DeLone's pass is good enough for a first down. Steve Smith, a terrific second effort.
Now he's going against the best corner right here, Sam Madison. He breaks the hand coverage right there, and now here's when Steve Smith is at his best. Breaking tackles, almost got out of that last tackle by Zach Thomas there.
Instead of getting kicked out of the game and getting in trouble, pissed off, got you 11 catches, 150-something yards, 2 touchdowns.
Breaks free towards the end zone, touchdown. His third touchdown today.
I will press more and more on you. I'll run better routes. I'll catch every pass. And so that's what happened.
Boom, there's the catch. Now watch him turn it on.
Steve Smith with his third touchdown today. He ties a team record with his 11th catch of today's game.
And Fresh Smoot, I mean, at the end of the day, he wrote a check that only I can cash.
Caught by Steve Smith, down inside the 10-yard line. 30 yards on the reception.
You know, he said something.
Smoot told us he was going to be very physical with Steve Smith, and on that play, he just let Smith run. And here again, you're going to see him matched up one-on-one with Fred Smoot, man coverage. Smoot's grabbing him and everything, pulling the jersey, and Steve Smith just one-hands that ball.
I put it like this. Fred was a dynamic corner in this league, and I was a better receiver.
Goes deep for Steve Smith, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch.
He sent me and my family to the Pro Bowl, so we appreciate that.
They're going to have to get Smoot off of Steve Smith or give that guy some help.
So when we started going at it,
and Smith one-hands that one.
I was going at it. It was personal.
Here's DeLone on second down. Zips it in. Steve Smith with the touchdown.
My 200 yards don't really care what's right or what's wrong, because that's facts.
Steve Smith is just a tough guy. Don't be fooled by how small he is and his size.
Man, it was funny. The only thing I was thinking about at that time was incentives, that if I got so many yards, I got like a bonus. So that's what I was thinking about.
Touchdown, Carolina Panthers.
The last guys that did it was Jerry Rice.
To Rice, and he's gone.
Sterling Sharp.
To the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Packers.
I was a young pup. I wasn't keeping up with statistics like that. And then when it happened, it was pretty cool. But it never happened again after that, just because our teams played me differently after that.
He is the league's most explosive receiver right now.
In this NFC matchup, the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears.
The first time we played Chicago, I had like 100 and something yards, but they stopped me from getting a touchdown. I had went back and watched film, and they looked at all my tendencies. So nobody knows this till now. That first play against Charles Tillman, you called the right play. I changed it. It was supposed to be a hitch.
Urlacher was coming. Smith gets behind the defense. There's a flag down. Smith makes the reception, a move, and he's into the end zone.
Because I saw you were flat-footed, you're going to jump the route.
I think there was an ad lib there on Steve Smith's part.
So you were right, but you were wrong because he was lined up against me. And Jake knew my body language, so that's when he threw the go.
You saw Jake Delhomme there look like he was going to throw a quick pass. Well, and you see on the outside, as I was saying, Charles Tillman, he gets caught looking into the backfield.
If I can do that and still score, it ain't happening.
Panthers pick it up, go deep for Smith.
And again, he goes right by Charles Tillman. Charles Tillman was in a much better position to make that play than what Steve Smith was. But Steve Smith wanted it a little bit more.
And from there, that's when I knew these boys in trouble. They ain't got a chance.
Delhomme is going to shoot for Smith. Down the field, Smith has another. Smith quieting this crowd here in Chicago.
People always say, you know, act like you've been there before. Man, I'm a kid from the inner city. I ain't never been here before. I'm going to do what I want to do. Jumping down the goalpost, my son thought of that because I would be on fire. We're on the boat. That was Minnesota for their stuff.
Trips this season. Oh, a dangerous pass. Smith breaks away. He goes in. Touchdown. His first touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons.
Changing the baby. That was a gentle way of saying you're doing a number 2.
And Steve Smith just changed the diaper on the football in the end zone, I guess. He was changing the baby.
Well, I used to go and make sure I found the camera.
Hey, I'm knocking him down. Hell, they might put my mom out there now. That's what I do best. Catch balls. The best part about this, win or lose, I go home, get hugs and kisses from my wife, my kids. Some brownies tonight after the game. Win, lose, or draw, baby. Make them brownies. When I come over. You can tell me I'm sorry. You can tell me I'm slow. You can tell me I can't run. You can tell me I ain't gonna be nothing. But I wear these shirts, baby. That's all you got, Big Baby? That's all I want. Hey, that's all I need.
All these guys were bigger than me. I was the short guy. I kind of had a niche on my own, and all these guys were outside. So I was a short guy dominating on the outside, but I had an inside body. Because, first of all, Randy Moss, much taller, much faster. Anquan was a bigger dude, you know, Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron. So for me, I didn't have the same measurables. I was just trying to get an invite to the wide receivers pool.
Last Sunday night, here's Smith. Survives the hit and has a touchdown. And Steve Smith somehow stayed on his feet.
But when I catch it, I get up off the ground and I'm lifting it. I look and say, man, this thing's not supposed to be moving like this. So when he hits me, I fracture my forearm. And some people talk about, man, you're tough. I mean, I don't know anybody that catch the ball and break their arm. I wouldn't even catch the ball if I knew I was gonna break my arm. I would bat the ball down.
Steve Smith took a big hit and kept going into the end zone.
The guy threw everything at him that he had, and Steve just stood there and took it and then walked into the end zone.
He is still one of the best receivers in the National Football League. The thing that I caution with him tonight is don't get into a personal challenging match with Aqib Talib, because this is a big game.
Talib is fiery, man. He's no nonsense as well.
3rd and 9, Patriots rush 4, and Newton's pass is nearly intercepted by Aqib Talib.
I don't know why, like, he went after me. So I was like, all right, it's gonna be one of those games then.
Newton taking the shot downfield towards Smith, who's got it on Talib. Across midfield, and a Panther first down, gain of 43.
2 alpha males going at it.
Newton throws high, what a grab by Smith. First down Carolina at the 34, as he and Talib get started and go at it, and company comes to see what's going on.
That was one of my games. I was like, hey, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. Let's do it right there.
They both knew the other guy was coming to town. 2nd and 9, Newton, complete. Back to Steve Smith. He and Talib meet again.
Then the Smith household, kind of old school, when something hurts, throw some ice on it.
What happened between you and Talib on the field early in the game? I don't know. You gonna ask him, because he didn't finish the game. Ice up, son. Ice up.
So I was just kind of being a smart aleck. Even to this day in the house, I'll say something and my kids go, well, you know what, Dad? You know what you can do? Ice up, son.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Once you get in your 30s, every year that you play, you're 1 year closer to retirement. We had some losing seasons, so I was starting to get frustrated with the losing. Kind of projected some of that on Cam and some on the team as well.
Look at me, I learned.
I was hot.
No, listen to me.
We had a good relationship early on, but at the same time, I really wasn't in the right mind frame to really kind of wait on his development as a football player. I was ready to play and I was ready to go. And so I just wasn't very patient and wasn't willing to be patient.
In Baltimore, what's the latest with the Ravens?
That's right, Steve Smith, the former Panthers receiver, the former face of that franchise, has now joined a new franchise, agreeing to a 3-year, nearly $12 million deal to join the Baltimore Ravens.
I'll always be a Carolina Panther, and the one thing I want to leave you is it's a new chapter in this book of my life, but there are phrases in this chapter that will carry on. And do you know what those phrases are, Frank?
No, what's that?
Ice up, son.
Touchdown, Ravens!
John Harbaugh, we always talked, so we always had a great relationship, stayed in touch.
My friend, my man, Steve Smith.
I'd always watched that organization from afar. I was ready to play.
Spotty with the throw, he's got Smith. Caught, 20-10. Smith breaks a tackle and he's in.
Joe scrambles and he waves to go deep, and I put my hand up like Randy Moss used to do. Like, hey, I'm going to get it. 96 degrees on the field. When I took off running, both of my hamstrings were cramping. I started to slow down, so the only way I felt that I can make this touchdown is if I can muscle my way through it.
He knows he's going to get caught. Look at the stiff arm. Fights him off, and he's going to walk in from there.
My hand got caught. The referee said it was good, so it was good. And then actually after that play, they gave me an IV on the sideline.
Week 4 of the NFL season, the Ravens hosting the Carolina Panthers.
Man, I had that game circled. You know, obviously, I'm Captain Petty. The word on the street was, don't really interact with Steve. You know how he is. We're going to be prepared for him doing all that talking. So I'm going to do everything they don't expect me to do. Keep my mouth closed, just play ball.
Throwing, and that's complete on the far side of the field. Steve Smith with a big gain for a first down.
And it was interesting to see as this tackle's made over on the Carolina sideline. I wanted to see if he was going to jump up. He didn't look at anybody. He didn't say anything. Of course, he jumped up and did his traditional first down sign. But I was wondering if he was going to jaw a little bit. He held himself.
Flacco got time, lofting it up, tip, caught. That is Steve Smith, senior, for the touchdown. Flacco lost the handle, picked it up, throws it downfield to the end zone, caught for the touchdown by Steve Smith, senior.
I knew I was going to be released. They knew they were going to release me. They expected me to come out there and talk. So I said, nah, I'm not going to talk. Strictly business.
I wanted to see if he was going to jump up. He didn't look at anybody. He didn't say anything.
So I just was kind of being, like I said, Mr. Petty.
Steve Smith, 4 catches today for 65 yards. Here come the Chargers. Flacco got rid of it. Complete to Smith. First down and then some. Across the 40. And Steve Smith is a little slow to get up.
I feel like somebody's kicking me. But then when I tried to put my foot in the ground, I couldn't feel my foot. I tore my Achilles. I was set to retire that year after that season. And then my agent, he said, hey, I'm gonna mail you something. I know you said you're gonna retire and all that stuff, but I want you to sit down and read it. He sent me my scouting report of me coming out 15 years prior. So when I got the scouting report, he said, all you gotta do is do 1 more year of exactly what they said you wouldn't do 15 years of, which is make it. It wasn't approved to anybody anymore. It was approved to myself.
Motion man is Pinnock. Flacco. A cannon to Smith. Touchdown, Ravens.
That one, I belong here. I was meant to be here.
And now he throws. It goes deep for Smith. He's got it.
And this kid from the hood that was playing with house money.
Steve Smith on the move.
Pretty resilient. He's not a knucklehead.
Pittsburgh pressured with 5. Flacco up top. Steve Smith caught it for the touchdown.
Dear Commissioner Goodell, this is to notify you that as of today, I, Steve Smith Sr., will no longer be antagonizing defensive backs. I'm retiring from the National Football League. Sincerely, Steve Smith Sr.